Hello dear student, today in this video I am going to explain about the class 10 social science, the history chapter 4 and this one part 6. The non-cooperation movement and Assam, mane Ohojog Andolon aru Ahom. The non-cooperation movement means Ohojog Andolon was a major event in the Indian struggle for independence. মানে ভাৰতৰ স্বাধীনতা সংগ্ৰামৰ ইতিহাসত অহযোগ আন্দোলন এক গুৰুত্বপূৰ্ণ অধ্যায়। This movement started in 1920 and lasted through 1922, supported all along by the Indian National Congress. মানে ভাৰতীয় জাতীয় কংগ্ৰেছৰ নেতৃত্বত এই আন্দোলন 1920 চনৰ পৰা 1922 চনলৈ চলিছিল। Means the non-cooperation movement or Ohojog Andolon was started in 1920 up to 1922 and it was a major event in the Indian struggle for independence which was supported by the Indian National Congress. Under Mahatma Gandhi's leadership, the movement aimed to get rid of the British rule through non-violence. মানে মহাত্মা গান্ধীৰ নেতৃত্বত এই আন্দোলনে অহিংসা পথেৰে ব্ৰিটিছ শাসনৰ পৰা ভাৰতবৰ্ষক মুক্ত কৰিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিছিল। Means the main aim of this movement was to get rid of the British rule through non-violence or অহিংসা. When the nation was responding to the call of Gandhi, the Assam Association was not sure about joining the movement. মানে যেতিয়া মহাত্মা গান্ধীৰ আহ্বানত সমগ্ৰ দেশ অহযোগ আন্দোলনত নামি পৰিছিল, তেতিয়া আসাম এছ'চিয়েশ্যনে এই আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিব নে নকৰে সেই সম্পৰ্কে নিশ্চিত নাছিল। A section of the association led by Ganga Govinda Borua, Taraprasad Soliha, Ghanshyam Borua and Chandradhar Borua felt that the association should retain its separate identity in order to deal with the local issue of Assam. মানে গংগা গোবিন্দ বৰুৱা, তাৰাপ্ৰসাদ চলিহা, ঘনশ্যাম বৰুৱা আৰু চন্দ্ৰধৰ বৰুৱাৰ নেতৃত্বত একাংশই আসাম এছ'চিয়েশ্যনে নিজৰ সুকীয়া অস্তিত্ব বজাই ৰাখি অসমৰ থলুৱা সমস্যাসমূহ সমাধানৰ ওপৰত গুৰুত্ব দিছিল। Means in the beginning time, the Assam Association was not sure about joining the movement and also a section of the people from the Assam Association led by four leaders like Ganga Govinda Borua, Taraprasad Soliha, Ghanshyam Borua and Chandradhar Borua, they felt that the association should retain its separate identity in order to deal with the local issue of Assam. The majority felt the need of joining the mainstream politics. মানে অধিকাংশই কিন্তু সক্ৰিয় ৰাজনীতিত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰাটো বিচাৰিছিল। At the 17th session of the Assam Association held at Tezpur in December 1920, the association after considerable debate took the resolution of joining the non-cooperation movement and to follow the directives of the Congress on the matters regarding the movement. মানে 1920 চনৰ ডিচেম্বৰত তেজপুৰত হোৱা 17 সংখ্যক অধিৱেশনত তীব্ৰ বিতৰ্কৰ অন্তত অহযোগ আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণৰ প্ৰস্তাৱ গ্ৰহণ হৈছিল আৰু আন্দোলনৰ সমৰ্থনত কংগ্ৰেছৰ যি নীতি নিৰ্দেশনা তাক মানি চলিবলৈ সিদ্ধান্ত লোৱা হৈছিল। Means in December 1920 at Tezpur, the 17th session of the Assam Association was held and in this session they took the resolution of joining the non-cooperation movement after a considerable debate and they also followed the directives of the Congress on the matters regarding the non-cooperation movement. The movement in Assam soon merged with the national stream with the formation of the Assam Provincial Congress Committee in June 1921. মানে 1921 চনৰ জুন মাহত অসম প্ৰদেশ কংগ্ৰেছ কমিটি গঠন হোৱাত এই আন্দোলনে ৰাষ্ট্ৰীয় আন্দোলনৰ সৈতে একত্ৰিত হৈ পৰিছিল। Kuladhar Soliha and Nobin Chandra Bordoloi were elected as President and Secretary of the Assam Provincial Congress Committee respectively. মানে Kuladhar Soliha অসম প্ৰদেশ কংগ্ৰেছ কমিটিৰ সভাপতি আৰু নবীন চন্দ্ৰ বৰদলৈ সম্পাদক হিচাপে নিৰ্বাচিত হৈছিল। Means when the Assam Provincial Congress Committee was formed in 1921 in June, then this movement in Assam was merged with the national stream. And Kuladhar Soliha, he was elected as a president, and Nobin Chandra Bordoloi, he was elected as the secretary of the Assam Provincial Congress Committee. The non-cooperation movement in Assam reached its climax with the visit of Gandhi to Assam in August 1921. মানে 1921 চনত মহাত্মা গান্ধীৰ অসম আগমনে এই আন্দোলন অধিক জনপ্ৰিয় কৰি তুলিছিল। In all the meetings addressed by Gandhi in major towns are attended by large section of people. মানে মহাত্মা গান্ধীয়ে ভাষা প্ৰদান কৰা আৰু অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰা সভাসমূহত বৃহৎ সংখ্যক জনসাধাৰণে অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল। Responding to the appeal made by Gandhi, people joined boycott movement by organizing huge bonfires of British goods. মানে মহাত্মা গান্ধীৰ আহ্বান ক্ৰমে জনসাধাৰণে বিদেশী বস্ত্ৰ বৰ্জন আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল আৰু বিদেশী বস্তুসমূহৰ মেজি সাজি জুই লগাই দি ইয়াক বিসৰ্জন দিছিল। Means in August 1921, when Mahatma Gandhi visited to Assam, the non-cooperation movement in Assam reached its climax, and a large section of people were attended in all the meetings which was addressed by Mahatma Gandhi. And responding to the appeal made by Mahatma Gandhi, all the people joined in the boycott movement by organizing huge bonfires of British goods. Under the leadership of Chandranath Sharma, Hemchandra Barua, Omyo Kumar Das, Muhibuddin Ahmed, the youth of Assam participated in the movement by boycotting government educational institutions. মানে চন্দ্ৰনাথ শৰ্মা, হেমচন্দ্ৰ বৰুৱা, অমিয় কুমাৰ দাস, মহিবুদ্দিন আহমেদ আদিৰ নেতৃত্বত অসমৰ যুৱকসকলেও চৰকাৰী শিক্ষানুষ্ঠানসমূহ বৰ্জন কৰি এই আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল। Means the youth of Assam participated in the non-cooperation movement under the leadership of Chandranath Sharma, Hemchandra Barua, Omyo Kumar Das, Muhibuddin Ahmed, etc. and they boycotting the government educational institutions. Some of the prominent leaders of the movement were Lokhidhar Sharma, Rohinikanto Hati Barua, Bimalakanto Barua, Kanak Chandra Barua, Benudhar Sharma, Tilak Sharma, and so on. Following the students, many lawyers like Nobin Chandra Bordoloi, Kuladhar Soliha, Torun Ram Phukon, Kamini Kumar Sanda, Vishnuram Medi left their legal practices and joined the movement. মানে ছাত্ৰসকলক অনুকৰণ কৰি নবীন চন্দ্ৰ বৰদলৈ, কুলাধৰ চলিহা, তৰুণ ৰাম ফুকন, কামিনী কুমাৰ চন্দ, বিষ্ণুৰাম মেধি আদি উকিলসকলেও ওকালতি এৰি আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল। Means following the students, many lawyers also left their jobs and joined the movement. Many government officials and teachers also left their jobs. With the growing influence of the movement, national schools were opened up at Guwahati, Nalbari, Jorhat, Tezpur, Sibsagar, Nagaon, Karimganj and Maulvi Bazar. মানে বহুতো চৰকাৰী বিষয়া আৰু শিক্ষকসকলেও তেওঁলোকৰ দায়িত্ব এৰি এই আন্দোলনত অংশগ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল আৰু আন্দোলনৰ বৰ্ধিত প্ৰভাৱৰ ফলতেই গুৱাহাটী, নলবাৰী, যোৰহাট, তেজপুৰ, শিৱসাগৰ, নগাঁও, কৰিমগঞ্জ আৰু মৌলভি বজাৰ আদিত ঠাইত জাতীয় শিক্ষানুষ্ঠান প্ৰতিষ্ঠা কৰা হৈছিল। Means like the students and lawyers, many government officials and teachers also left their jobs and participated in the movement. With the growing influence of the movement, national schools were opened in different places of Assam. The first national school was established at Guwahati in February 1921, which was named as Tilak Memorial School in the memory of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. মানে 1921 চনৰ ফেব্ৰুৱাৰী মাহত গুৱাহাটীত প্ৰথম জাতীয় শিক্ষানুষ্ঠান বাল গংগাধৰ তিলকৰ স্মৃতিত তিলক সোঁৱৰণী স্কুল প্ৰতিষ্ঠা কৰা হৈছিল। This school started functioning from Rohini Kumar Chaudhary's residence at Bharolumukh. Later it was shifted to Assam Club at Ujan Bazar. মানে এই শিক্ষানুষ্ঠান প্ৰথমে ৰোহিণী কুমাৰ চৌধুৰীৰ ভৰলুমুখৰ বাসভৱনৰ চৌহদত আৰম্ভ কৰা হৈছিল। পিছত উজান বজাৰৰ অসম ক্লাবত স্কুলখন স্থাপন কৰা হয়। Means in February 1921 at Guwahati, the first national school was established, which was named as Tilak Memorial School in the memory of Bal Gangadhar Tilak. And this school started functioning from Rohini Kumar Chaudhary's residence at Bharolumukh, but later it was shifted to Assam Club at Ujan Bazar. The leaders of the movement also undertook a program of constructive works. মানে এই আন্দোলনৰ নেতৃত্ববৃন্দই গঠনমূলক কাৰ্যপন্থাও গ্ৰহণ কৰিছিল। One of the major impacts of the movement in Assam was the fall in opium consumption. মানে অসমত এই আন্দোলনৰ এক উল্লেখযোগ্য প্ৰভাৱ আছিল কানিৰ প্ৰচলন বন্ধ কৰা। As a result of the vigorous anti-opium campaign led by the Congress workers, the consumption of the Abkari opium fell from 1615 mons in 1920-21 to 993 mons in 1922-23. মানে কংগ্ৰেছ কৰ্মীসকলে সবল ৰূপে কানিৰ প্ৰচলন বন্ধ কৰিবৰ বাবে গ্ৰহণ কৰা কাৰ্যপন্থাৰ বাবে প্ৰচলিত কানিৰ 1920 পৰা 21 বিত্তীয় বৰ্ষত 1615 মোনৰ পৰা 1920 পৰা 23 বিত্তীয় বৰ্ষত 993 মোন হৈছিল। Means one of the major impacts of the movement in Assam was the fall in opium consumption, and as a result of the vigorous anti-opium campaign led by the Congress workers, the consumption of the Abkari opium fell in different years. The revenue earned from the selling of opium decreased by 19 lakh rupees. মানে কানিৰ বিক্ৰীৰ ফলত উপাৰ্জিত ৰাজহৰ পৰিমাণ 19 লাখ টকা পৰ্যন্ত কমি গৈছিল। Another important constructive work was popularizing the use of khadi and increasing the production of khadi. এই আন্দোলনৰ আন এটা উল্লেখযোগ্য গঠনমূলক কাম আছিল খাদীৰ প্ৰচলন জনপ্ৰিয় কৰি তোলাৰ লগতে ইয়াৰ উৎপাদন বৃদ্ধি কৰা। Means the another important constructive work of the non-corporation movement in Assam was popularizing the use of khadi cloth and also the increasing the production of khadi cloth. The movement witnessed unprecedented support from the tea garden laborers. The large population of tea garden laborers took the opportunity to raise their voice against the colonial exploitation on them. মানে বাগিচাৰ বনুৱাসকলৰ পৰাও এই আন্দোলনে প্ৰচুৰ সমৰ্থন লাভ কৰিছিল আৰু বৃহৎ সংখ্যক চাহ বাগিচাৰ বনুৱাই এই আন্দোলনৰ দ্বাৰা তেওঁলোকৰ ওপৰত চলা ব্ৰিটিছৰ শোষণৰ বিৰুদ্ধে প্ৰতিবাদ আৰম্ভ কৰিছিল। There were records of sporadic strikes and disturbances. In May 1921, around 8,000 laborers of 13 tea gardens of the Sargola and Longai Valley of Karimganj subdivision came together to protest against their colonial masters under the Congress leadership. মানে তেওঁলোকে কেইবাটাও হৰতাল পালনৰ লগতে কাম বন্ধ কৰি অসুবিধাৰ সৃষ্টি কৰিছিল আৰু 1921 চনৰ মে মাহত কৰিমগঞ্জ মহকুমাৰ অন্তৰ্গত চাৰগোলা আৰু লংগাই উপত্যকাৰ 13খন চাহ বাগিচাৰ প্ৰায় 8,000 বনুৱাই একেলগ হৈ তেওঁলোকে ব্ৰিটিছৰ শাসকৰ বিৰুদ্ধে প্ৰতিবাদ কৰিছিল। Means the non-corporation movement in Assam also supported by the tea garden laborers, and they also raised their voice against the colonial exploitation on them. So in May 1921, around 8,000 laborers of 13 tea gardens of the Sargola and Langai Valley of Karimganj subdivision, they came together to protest against their colonial masters under the Congress leadership. demanding a huge wage increase and accompanied by slogans of Gandhi Maharaj ki jai. The laborers came out of their gardens. মানে মজুৰি বৃদ্ধিৰ দাবী জনোৱাৰ লগতে গান্ধী মহাৰাজৰ জয় ধ্বনি দি তেওঁলোক বাগিচাৰ পৰা ওলাই আহিছিল। Unnerved by such exodus of laborers, the planters started pressurizing the district administration to use force to bring them back. Hundreds of laborers lost their lives in the turmoil that followed. Others were forced back to their gardens. মানে মালিকসকলে বনুৱাসকলক বল প্ৰয়োগ কৰি উভতাই আনিবলৈ জিলা প্ৰশাসনক হেঁচা দিছিল আৰু এনে বল প্ৰয়োগৰ ফলত বহুতো বনুৱাৰ মৃত্যু হৈছিল আৰু বাকীসকল বাগিচালৈ উভতি আহিবলৈ বাধ্য হৈছিল। Means so many tea laborers came out of their gardens with the slogans of Gandhi Maharaj ki jai. So the planters started pressurizing the district administration to use force to bring them back. So hundreds of laborers lost their lives in this turmoil that followed and others were forced back to their gardens.